Tales back with my bestie Nikki. What's going on?
Oh man, it's been a while.
And just like that, you're breaking up. What?
Oh
It's
no,
been a
no, no.
while?
Can you hear me? It's been a wild
Yep.
day.
Has it? Why has it been a wild day?
Well, I'm like almost afraid to even say these words out loud, but we we signed a purchase and sale on a house today.
Nice. That's
Oh my
good
God.
stuff.
Yep, it's wild. It's a crazy time to be buying a house, but it's also a crazy time to be selling a house. So,
You guys converting to a double wide? That's good.
yeah, we thought we'd pull the trailer around and
The
make
whole
it
world's
into
so
a home.
sensitive. I should say no offense to people that live in trailers. I grew up in the South. My grandparents lived in a trailer for years. So everybody just chill. Everybody
Yeah,
just chill.
no, 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 no. We're looking to, bigger house, more land, like all the things that we've been talking about for like years. And we've been looking for a house for like 3 years.
Nice.
Um, but our current house is good, so it has to really fit to make us move. And this house is far from
Mm,
perfect, but I do believe I can make it my forever dream home with enough
mm,
time. So,
perfect. You ever
yeah.
uh you ever seen the movie Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. The background that you're using on this podcast makes you look like Ghost from that movie. It's like got you kind of phasing in and out.
Oh, yeah,
You're
it's a
like
little
a
weird.
superhero.
Woo.
I know I'm
Woo.
gonna buy you a green screen and send it to you.
My new house, we've been talking about this, like, what do we really want? Like, I really want my home office to have, like, a corner that is, like, a studio, so I can, like, have the podcast set up and not, be in front of the bed of dirty laundry,
Right.
which is the only reason I ever have, like, a whatever background on.
Well, I know you're not looking for advice, but I suggest to all my friends divorce because then you can make all the own decisions you want. You don't have to ask permission for anything. You can have an awesome guitar room like this. It's perfect.
Thought about it. Thought about maybe building a guitar room. No, no. Actually the guy who's selling is like going through a messy divorce, which is why it was like complicated to get everything signed. And I was like, "Ugh,
Right.
God, sorry. Sorry, can I have your
I
house?"
Oh, I can only imagine. I
Yeah.
remember that. As a matter of fact, I was going through some paperwork the other day, and the girl Megan just graduated high school, and so I was going through all kind of stuff, and I found all my old divorce papers, all of them, and it's at this point it's like 15 years ago, yeah, 15 years ago,
Yeah.
because she would have been 3. And so I'm just like kind of reminiscing, reminiscing about the divorce, like looking over the papers and remembering what a stressful time that was and
Hmm.
how many documents you have to sign and like all the
Yeah.
legal mumbo jumbo that comes with it. It seems like a lifetime ago now, but I get it, man. It's like that's stressful enough.
It's
Buying a
tough.
house is
That's
worse
tough.
though, to be honest. Way worse.
Really?
Yeah, come on, signing paperwork for a house and selling a house and dealing with realtors and oh, no
It is
thanks.
a lot. It is a lot. And like when we bought this house, it was 2016, and I like was a bulldog. I had got all my paperwork done. I like pushed the bank. I pushed like the lender. Like everyone was trying to like drop the ball. And I was like, no, I really want to get this shit done. And we closed in 16 days. It was
Wow.
nuts. Nuts. So not trying to do that here. I need to list this house that I live in and sell it. I
Oh,
need to
it'll
do
sell
that really
fast.
fast.
I get an
Yeah, yeah,
offer
it
I get
should.
an offer a week on this house.
Yeah, we've gotten a
Swear to God.
bunch already. And yeah, I'm real confident in it, which was nice, like to not have to buy with a contingency. But man, it's stressful. It's real stressful. So I don't know. There's a lot that could still go wrong, so I'm like
Mhm.
scared to celebrate, but it's pretty cool.
Well, you'll have plenty of room for the chickens to roam, so that's
We
good.
will. We will. We'll have room for the barn we want
Are
and a
you gonna have
couple more
free
animals.
range chickens now?
No, no, but what's really funny is we have so the house that we bought has a tennis court on the property, but it
Nice.
kind of has like fallen into disarray, so it's basically just like a big
Right.
level patch of dirt, which is perfect for where we want the barn to be.
Yeah,
And it like already has a chain link fence around it for like the animals to just like pop out and graze. So it's like it's weird. It's definitely, someone like let it go to shit basically, but for us
right,
it's like perfect for what we want. That's what I'm saying is like if the house isn't perfect, but has a ton of potential to become our dream home with like little shit like that.
right.
Like as a pond, and we want ducks. So it's like funny. It's just like most people would be like, ugh, this
Right.
like gross pond. And I'm like, we can fix up the pond and put the ducks there. It's perfect.
There you go.
It's funny. Yeah.
Wow. The only thing that keeps me from moving is the home gym. Not because I, just am in love with my home gym, but because I don't want to move the GHD or the assault
Ugh.
runner. It's like
Uh-huh.
I think I'm gonna have to sell the house to CrossFitters. It's the only way I'm ever gonna sell it because there's so much shit down there. I'm never gonna get it out ever.
You're really set up to just like live and die in the home gym.
Well, like before, I was always like, well, I can disassemble the GHD and everything else can be disassembled. It'd be a pain in the butt. But when I moved the assault runner down there, it was Spencer and Saxon that moved it down there. And poor Spencer nearly killed himself trying to get that thing down the stairs. I'm like, if two of the fittest guys on the planet are struggling with this thing, there ain't no chance 3 men in a truck are getting that thing out. Like, no
Yeah.
way. And I'm not getting
Yeah.
it out. So I'm here forever, I guess.
Yeah, you're stuck. That's the only thing
Well,
this place doesn't have that I really, really want is I really wanted like a dedicated space for a home gym. There's some basement. I don't know. We need to like really sit down and plot it out. Because I hate when big houses have spaces that go to waste.
right.
So like we're really gonna have to put some thought into how we're gonna use all the space because it's enormous. This house is enormous.
What, are you gonna build a barn? You said there was gonna be a barn. You gonna build one? Then just
Yeah, we'll
put a
build
gym
one.
out there. Why not?
Oh shit. Yeah, you're right.
Why not? Like, it should be I've thought forever, like, when and if I ever sell this, I'd like to move, like, more into the country and have, like, a detached garage/barn that would have the gym in it.
Yeah, yeah. We have some friends with like a detached garage they turn into their like very nice, well outfitted home gym, and it's so cool.
I just need a house for all my hobbies. I need a house, a hobby house.
You need a guitar
I
house, you
need
need
a
a
guitar.
workout house, you need a meme house. You can use the
Meme house.
millions to build
Yeah,
it.
well, memes don't pay that well, but banking
Mhm.
does, so I can still pay
Mm,
for all my other hobbies.
there you
That'll
go.
be that'll be good.
Well, that's my latest drama. How about you? What's been going on with you? We haven't just like had a chance to chat in forever.
No drama. I've started going to an affiliate. That's fun.
Did you go what?
Yeah, I
After all
went
this talk about your epic home gym?
well, like, here's the crux of it. As a matter of fact, I have this huge palm tear from
Oh,
today
yeah, you do. Look at
because I
that.
did 60 toes to bar and they hurt like hell.
That's gross.
I killed the workout though. Very proud of
Hey,
myself.
hey.
Yeah, well, so when was it? It was like a week ago. I went down in the basement to work out and I get down there and I didn't do shit. Like, just
Aw.
nothing. Go down, set the clock, write the workout on the whiteboard, get everything set up, and I'm just like, all right, I'm done. Like, just didn't do anything. And I did a little stuff here and there, but there was no intensity, no real sweat even that came from it. I'm like, this has got to end. Like, I can't keep doing that every third workout. Like, I need to be around people. I need to see what other people are doing. I need somebody to chase. I need a coach to yell at me and give me tips when I'm doing dumb shit. So I'm like, all right, well, there's an affiliate a couple of miles from here. I've never been there. I'll just email them and drop in. And it was great. I dropped in for a Saturday workout, partner workout, did the workout with the owner. He kicked my butt. It was great. And
You with the owner? Gonna have to
yeah,
be partners with the teacher.
well, they had multiple owners and I didn't have a partner. And he's like, I'll do it with you. And he's fit, as most of these owners are. And he kicked my
Mhm.
ass. And then I went back Monday and I went back today. Today's workout was great. It was 20 power snatches at 95 or 65, 30 toes to bar, 1 mile run, 30 toes to bar, 20 snatches.
Oh, I love that. What a great, like, summer workout.
Yeah, it was good. I did it in 1551 RX. I rarely
That's
RX, but the weights were kind of in my,
that's a
you
fast
know,
mile you ran, huh?
it wasn't bad. It's one of those miles, like I told him it was, I've been running a lot because of Murph or,
Right?
Murph prep. And it was a lonely mile. Two people went out the door before me, and I'm like, great, I'm gonna have somebody to run with, right? I'm gonna run with them for a mile, and then I passed both of them in like
Oh.
20 seconds, and then I didn't see them again. And so now I'm running by myself for the full mile, and it's hard, like mentally tough, in for a workout like this to not only keep running, but not overrun it. And what I mean by that is like by no means am I a great runner, but I'm an okay runner, and I certainly know kind of where my limits are. And so I had pulled back on the run because I knew I had 30 toes to bar as soon as you come back in the door. And I was feeling pretty good. And it's really hard to A, run by yourself, and B, maintain a pace that you can continue to work when you come in, when your body's telling you run harder, or just go finish, you know. Um, but it was good. I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy the hand tear,
Mm.
but I liked being in the affiliate, and and kind of challenging myself to hit a time domain. And this, the affiliate's really kind of cool the way they structure things. They give you their RX, and then they have an RX plus. If you want to do that, they give you the times that they think you should be coming in at. So, in this case, they're like, hey, if you really want to push your time, you should be sub 17. It's a 25-minute time cap. And so I'm like, all right, well, I want to get in under 17 then. If that's, kind of the benchmark where they think you should be, that's where I want to be, and I like
Yeah.
that because it gives me a target, like something to go
Yeah,
after.
and programming for stimulus is
Yeah.
like those are good programmers. Those are good gym owners.
Yeah. And the gym's nice, like everything's new. But I really like, having someone there to like force me to do a real warm up, and they have a
Mhm.
very structured, on the board warm up. They have TVs everywhere, and the warm ups on the TVs, and you can see it, and they walk you through it. And, having to do warm ups important, as much as I hate to admit that shit.
Yeah, it is. It totally is. Look
Yeah.
at you. So do you think
Mhm.
you're gonna stick with it? Like, are you gonna do like 2 days a week at an affiliate or something like that?
I don't know. I mean, they gave me a free week. I told them, like, I think I'd like to do, maybe 4 days a week for a while.
Mm.
And I've been going down to Chagrin Falls CrossFit on the weekends. I've, friends that own
Oh,
that,
yeah, we
who I
love
train
them.
with. And I'll probably keep doing that some on Sundays, and, train here 1 or 2 days a week, depending on what my schedule is. I like
Wow,
the
big
flexibility.
swing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So,
hey, look, it's all cyclical, like, do the affiliate thing for a while, pop back in your home gym for a while, like, whatever makes you comfortable.
yeah, it was weird. When I went there on Saturday, I mean, truth be told, I was trying to be incognito, Nikki. Like I did not say, hey, can I get a free time to come in? I paid to go in, by the way, paid
"Hey,
my
I'm
20
meme
bucks.
lord. Can I
Yeah.
get a free
Well, I
week?"
mean, you never know who knows you and who doesn't. And I
Sure.
wasn't like trying to get anything out of these guys. I'm like, just, hey, where do I sign up? How much is it?
Yeah, yeah.
I paid my 20 bucks and showed up, hoping that like no one would know me. Right. I mean, truthfully, and I'm not humble bragging. Like, I really, like, I just wanted to get in and like get to know a community. And I walk in the door, and within seconds, this really nice dude, master's athlete, comes over. He's like, "Are you John Woolley?" And I'm like, "Oh shit."
What's
here we here
happening?
we
It's
go. And
happening.
he
You
goes,
don't even, like, put your face out there, like, all that much. Like, most people know you as, like, from the memes.
yeah,
So,
well, he's a podcast listener though.
there you go.
And
Yay! Yay.
not
What's his
not
name?
ours.
Oh.
Sorry. Scale and Bale.
Oh,
And
that's fine, that's fine. I
yeah,
support
yeah.
that as well.
And he was wearing the exact shoes I had on, because we
Of
talk
course
about
he
those on the
was.
show sometimes. It was really
Of
funny.
course he was.
And
How funny.
so yeah, it was just kind of a weird moment. But it was
Yeah.
really nice to get in the community. And I had a couple people go, "Hey, if I do anything dumb, don't meme me." So then that's how I knew they knew who I was. So that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. The community is really nice. The gym's really nice. Programming's
Cool.
good. So,
That's
you know,
fun.
I'm gonna stick with it for a while. And they're
Yeah,
not
I'm
taking
proud
it
of
easy on
you.
me. I can tell you that. They kicked my ass today.
Good.
So
Good.
it was good.
Good. I'm proud of you. I think that's really good for you, especially because I know how much you love and value everything that happens in the affiliate. So it'll be nice to
Yeah.
work into your routine for a little bit.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep doing hard work pays off at home as
Yep.
much as I can. Like, because I really like that programming that they've put together. And I don't know. I want some flexibility in my life. And I think I need to be around people.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that too, man. It's been a weird like being at semis was really the first time since the pandemic started that we've branched out and just like done life like that. Like still, I mean, I know that like
right.
the world's been opening up a lot more lately, but still I think we were on the fence like we had just started like going to Target not wearing a mask and all that stuff. Like it just I don't know, with the baby at home, we were a little bit slower to the game
Right.
but being on a plane and traveling to semis and being in the auditorium. Like, I really feel like we're back in the swing of life now with, you
Oh,
know, with all the precautions that we absolutely can take. And we're all vaxxed and boosted, and the baby's older and his immune system is stronger than it was, and all the good stuff, you know, just like with precaution re-entering the world. And I too feel like I need to be around people. I've missed it. I really missed it. And I'm not 100% comfortable all the time. And there's definitely times and areas and places where we still take extra precautions, but it was really nice being with the community. It
I'm
was really
taking no
lovely.
precautions at this point.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
that's
screw it.
why.
I'm just
Hey,
walking up and hugging strangers. Like, I don't give a shit.
yeah, I mean, look, if I were young and healthy and didn't have a baby, like, I would probably just be like, "Screw this, I was built for this pandemic." But,
Right.
like, I don't know, you always think a little extra. And then, of course, like, you know, the question of, like, if and when I get pregnant again at some point, that's, I don't know. It's always just on my mind, like, my body's doing weird things and probably will continue to do weird, crazy, cool things for the next however long. So, we'll see.
Speaking of semis, I'll tell you something fun I did this weekend that I never do,
Yeah.
or I haven't done, but I just decided I was going to this weekend. So I watched every minute of the Granite Games, like sat on my
Wait,
couch.
what?
Yes, well, I shouldn't say every minute. I didn't watch all the teams because you know how I feel about
There
teams,
it is.
right?
I knew it. I knew that was coming.
But I did watch quite a bit of the teams. I didn't watch it all, but you know, like because there was one team's event that was like 30 minutes long, and I'm
37
like,
minutes long. Yeah,
yeah, I'm
yeah.
like, I'm not gonna watch 3 heats of people
It
I
was
don't
only 2
know.
heats of teams for the
Yeah,
record, but I totally agree with you.
whatever,
I did the thing that I hate when other people do, right? I did the thing where we sat down and we watched Heat 3 of men and women
right?
only. That's it.
Oh no,
And
I
I'm always
watched.
like, "We put on this whole broadcast. Everyone should just watch the whole," and I was like, "Heat 3, skip, skip, skip."
No, here's what I did though. So I went to the YouTube channel and I got in the live chat, and I was in the live chat the entire time, just like
Oh,
talking to people in
snap.
the community. And
Was it cool?
um,
I've never seen the live chat
well,
before.
so it's interesting. So there were a lot of people in there that did not like me for other reasons. And I think some of them came around to realize that I'm actually not the big asshole I sometimes act like I am. And we had some good conversations, and you know, I got to know some people that I didn't think liked me that they didn't, and I think they kind of do now, and I kind of like them now. And like, you know what I mean? It's like you realize people are funnier than we have more in common than we don't, you know.
I
And
like that you were like, "I didn't think they liked me," and they didn't. But maybe now they do.
well, some didn't. So some absolutely were like, "Hey, the meme guy's on. He's a tool." And I'm, you know, and I think the one thing I've like tried to do recently is I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm not going to take this shit so seriously anymore. Like, I'm really starting to get a much better idea of what people think of the page and me and the world. And I'm like, fuck it. You don't like me? I don't blame you. I,
You probably have a decent reason
yeah,
not to like
probably.
me.
Like, you think I'm a tool? I probably am a tool. Let's laugh about it. Who cares? Like, you want to roast me? Go
Yeah.
for it. It's all the same to me. Like, and so I had a lot of fun in that chat with people, and as a group, we were all like, there's just a lot of really funny things said. It was just a lot of fun, just
That's
like chatting with
wild.
people. It was wild. It was really fun. I had a good time.
I have
So
never ever seen the live stream chat up for obvious reasons. I don't think I could either. Like, I think I have a decent, like, thick skin when it comes to just like the online BS. And truthfully, I've said this on the podcast before, like, for the most part, I don't have a lot of trolls like on my Instagram or anything like that. Like, I think I'm lucky in that I have like a pretty decent following of people who legitimately want to
right.
be there. I don't have like a bazillion followers, but the people who are there like actually like my content. Like, that's why they hit the follow button. But I have seen like the live stream is probably the only place where people are like, "Fuck that chick, Nikki." Like what? Why? Like what?
Well, it's funny you should say that.
Why? My
So
goodness.
I originally logged in under the Kettlebells and Cocktails YouTube, and
Oh,
so when you
nice.
text, that's what it's under. And I hadn't texted anything yet, and your girl was the sideline, who was Jamie,
Jamie.
and she did great. She was
Yeah, she
really
did a good
terrific.
job.
She's wonderful, you know. And somebody they didn't say fuck Nikki, but they're like, I really like Jamie. I don't think I miss Nikki. And I
Oh,
immediately
sad.
went, I do. And Kettlebells and Cocktails pops up. And somebody was like, oh shit, Nikki's in the chat. And I'm like, I'm like, no, no, no. I don't trust her with the socials. This is just,
I truly don't have our login, so it's
yeah.
never
I'm
me.
like, it,
But
it, it would be a big hot mess if Nikki were in the chat. So no, we don't let her
ew,
do
I
that.
don't think I could, because the second someone would be like, "I don't miss Nikki," I'd be like, "Oh man, really?
Uh,
Why?" And I think that's probably like when it comes to like my work, that's probably the only place where I really couldn't like shake it off. I'd be like, "Oh, people hate when I do this. Why?"
I don't think they do. I think it's interesting. I think people see, different people when you guys switch teams. So like this week it was Chase and Joel and
Mhm.
Jamie, and so now it's not Sean, Tommy, and you, or whoever would be with Sean if it's not Tommy. Um, and so I think people get a different perspective, and I'm not sure that they're really missing someone or not missing someone. It's just all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, it's not always going to be the same people, and they start getting a different perspective.
Yeah, and everyone is very different. Like I just think that our team is really like well-rounded because people are have incredibly different styles. And I like that. Like I
Yep.
like that Jamie sounds way different than I do. We sound way different than Mike. Like we have just like very different styles when it comes to reporting, and I like all of them. I don't think anyone is better than the other, but the internet is a place where people like to go and shit on everything. So,
True that. There's an interesting question that just came in. Great
well,
job
I
on the
will I be
semis.
recording.
Yeah,
Thank you.
will Nicole be reporting at the games? And what is the production crew doing during heats that aren't
That
announced?
aren't
Yeah, what the hell
announced.
are you guys doing,
It's a
Nikki?
good question. Yeah. So first of all, yes, the plan is to go to games right now. That is what the crew is planning on. It's what we're planning on. I don't like to say 100% until like my plane tickets are booked because I've seen crazy shit happen in the past. But
Right.
yes, the plan right now is to go to games. It's a really good question because I'm happy to answer it because I think a lot of people shit on the broadcast or whatever one way or another because they have no idea how it actually works. So oftentimes we take light heats, quote unquote, where the announcers and usually like the majority of the camera crew take heat one off because otherwise, look at the schedule. Like, no one would ever have a chance to pee or eat something or drink water. Like it's really really long production days from load in to testing to going through all the events. I mean, we're literally pulling like 14, 15-hour days a lot of the times. So often we end up taking heat one off, typically not on day one and typically not like when we're first starting into the broadcast in the morning, but we'll take heat one off so that people can breathe and eat and pee and have like there's like labor law
Right.
union bullshit that we need to like people need time to themselves too. So I need to pump, that's
Here-
usually what I'm doing these
Here's
days.
something that was funny over the weekend because somebody was bitching about this in the chat. They had taken heat one off. It was kind of toward the end of the weekend,
Right.
and you could hear Larry down on the
Yeah.
floor
Yeah,
calling
usually
the
they take
event. But
exactly.
but I think the people on the live stream thought he was an announcer, like Joel
Oh,
and Chase, and
because
they're like, "This guy sucks. Why are they letting him call?" I'm sitting there going, "No, no, no, that's Larry. Like he's down on the floor. Like it's a much
right.
different experience calling on the floor than when you're,
Yes.
up in the
Right.
booth." It was just
Yes,
really funny to me.
when you're an MC on the floor, you're just trying to keep the stadium abreast of what's going on. You're not providing color or commentary or anything along those lines. So typically when we take heat one off, we take the floor announcers to the house, so
Right.
that you guys on the stream can hear something and be made aware of what is going on. And they do a really good job of just like calling exactly what's happening. Um, so yeah, that's typically why that happens. Thank you for asking.
I knew
Appreciate that.
this question was
This is
coming.
gonna
Thoughts
come
on the
up.
Chase Ingram drama?
I was so late to the game, you guys. Like, it had already all happened and then happened again, and then I texted John because I couldn't figure out what was going on. I texted John and I was like, "Hey, do you know what's happening with Chase?" And he was like, "Of course I do. Like, where have you been? Not online for like 10 hours, apparently."
Oh, the whole thing is so weird. So
Can you
we're gonna
just
have Chase.
explain? Can you lay out? Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Well, Chase is coming on. He's going to be on
Okay,
the show. I hope on Friday. I'm trying to work
great.
it out with him. We were trying to get him on tomorrow, but we already had other stuff booked and couldn't do it. But Chase will be on very soon, and we'll get his opinion on it. But it's like here was the crux of it, and I'm gonna get some
Yeah,
full disclosures. Like I know all the players in this, and they're all friends, so I'm not roasting anybody.
okay.
right? Like, so here's what happened. So Alex Parker, who's Meredith Root's partner. Meredith is a very dear friend. I love Meredith. I don't really know Alex, for the record. Don't really know her. I know Meredith very well, and I love her. She's just a total sweetheart. Apparently, she didn't like Chase's commentary or just didn't like how he was calling it. And she created a petition for the games to not let him call the games. That was kind of the gist of it, which is kind of weird. Like, in my opinion, to create a petition to have someone removed from something, like to take someone's job away. But it was what it was. Like, she created it, and it pissed off a bunch of people who then went and created a separate petition to keep him on the game. So now you got competing petitions to decide like who loves Chase more or hates Chase more. And looks like, those that love Chase more won the petition fight for whatever that's worth. Here's my opinion on the whole thing. Like all this CrossFit drama is like exhausting.
I
It is
agree.
so exhausting. I love Chase. I love Meredith. And, again, I don't know Alex, but I love Meredith. And, whatever was going on there, it's like, for me, it's like kind of between them, but then everybody else starts piling in and it becomes a thing. And it's like, I just kind of want to get back to hating the assault bike again. And, and
Mhm.
let's complain about workouts and how much our feet hurt because our shoes suck and that sort of
Yeah.
thing. So I'm hopeful that all this, like, drama, I guess is the right word, because there's a lot of it just kind of spread through
Yeah.
the community right now. Like, I hope it goes away. In my heart of hearts, I believe it's still just a minority of people shouting really loud, and that the bulk of us still just really love the day to day or don't even give a shit about
Right.
this sort of
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think it was as big a deal as some people made it out. It's like
Yeah.
kind of a funny moment over the weekend, if anything else.
Yeah, I didn't see it all until after it was, like, amended, so I don't know how it was originally put out there, like, eventually, I think she amended the petition to be, like, less about Chase and more generic, and when I read it,
Mhm.
it was like the commentary talks is, like, too harsh on the athletes and talks too much about what they're doing wrong and, like, who are these people and how are they qualified and, like, all this stuff, so in that respect, that's kind of the only place I can weigh in from. And in that respect, all I have to say is I guess I just felt like it was really unfair to Chase to just all of a sudden be blasted like that. Just from the perspective of someone who has that job and works those events, like all we are out there doing is pouring our hearts and souls into trying to do this right, into commentating on, reporting on and doing this like the very very best we possibly can. And I don't have his role, so I can't speak to it personally, but every color commentary role in every professional sport criticizes what happens on the field of play. Oh, that was a terrible swing, or like that pitch was whatever. So like it is it is within his right in his role as color commentary to be like, wow, that was a bad lift for
Right.
X, Y, and Z technical reasons. And I don't think it ever is supposed to come off personal. We are a very different type of a community and a very different type of a sport. So like I understand there are sensitivities around that. I just felt really bad because I just know he's out there doing the very best that he possibly can and trying to do a good job for his role and responsibilities. And I felt for him because I do the same thing. I'm sure there's people out there who are going to be like, that was a terrible question. Remove Nikki from games. I'm like, fuck, like, is that really merited? Or like, are you just one person who came to the internet who hates what I do? I'm glad we have these types of communications and we have the World Wide Web and we can do all these things, but it makes it really difficult and scary to try to just, when you go out there and you just try to do a good job, that sucks, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think fundamentally the difference in our community and others, the only thing I can compare ours to is golf because it's the only other sport I can think of where you can go out and actually do what the pros are doing on the same courses and the same, vein. And just like us, not as good. And I think,
Hmm.
the problem in CrossFit's case, where we're getting there's a lot of coverage or, coverage of these semis online or whatever. Those that are covering it are typically former athletes, which is what Chase is. And so he's speaking from his experience. But what he doesn't have is, 50 years of broadcast experience like the NFL would, for instance, where they have a history of what you should and shouldn't be talking about. And truthfully, like those commentators for the NFL, if that's the example here, a lot of those guys are former players, but they have a history of commentary before them that they're drawing on. We don't have that. The sport's 10 years old.
Right.
We just don't have it. And
Right.
really, you think back to it, like the only thing they have to look to is Sean and Tommy for the most part. I know there are others, but for the most part, they're
Yeah.
kind of the standard bearer, and they're great. But you just don't have hundreds of people to look back on and draw experience from. And so I think everyone's kind of learning on the job here.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
And
That's
it's
a
going to
very
be
good
that way for a while. It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
You know,
I just don't like that's all I saw is like I saw like remove or like update the entire team because the commentary should be supportive and not criticism and whatever. And I was just like, I kind of fundamentally disagree with that unless someone on the broadcast is being a real dick.
right.
I don't know. I didn't hear him being an asshole, but I also only watched Heat 3. So
Well, he is from Dallas, so anything could happen.
Leo.
As a newcomer to the CrossFit scene, is this drama common around the game season, or is this year really unusual? That's a good question. Do you think this feels normal? It feels
No, I
excessive this
don't.
year.
I think
It
it
feels
feels
excessive this year.
excessive. I think here's what happened. I think we've all been like holed up in our houses for the last 3 years and internet is the only connection that we've had and everyone just needs to like take a breath as the world goes back to normal.
I'm gonna give you here's a real opinion. I'll probably get in trouble and blasted for somebody for saying this. Um, a lot of the issues that have happened this year have happened in years past. So, as an example, the ropes being on the floor. This isn't the first time someone's injured themselves.
Okay.
So, you've had two eras in the CrossFit Games. You have the Dave Castro era, and now we're in the post Dave Castro era, right? And so you have a lot of people blowing shit up now that Dave's gone. You also had a lot of issues in the past, or several issues, where athletes, as an example, didn't post good videos to
Mhm.
qualify for the games, but they still got
Yeah.
qualified, and questionable
Yeah.
decisions were made by the games team in order to qualify. And then the most notable one being Brooke Wells, when they said she had the capacity to do handstand push-ups.
Sure.
And I
Right.
love
We all
Brooke.
said the word capacity every day
Yeah.
for like 2 years. Yeah.
And I'm not roasting Brooke. I don't know Brooke, but I'm not roasting her. I'm just using her as an example because that's the most common one, right? Those both happen under Dave's watch, but nobody bitched about it like they're bitching about these. You know why? They were scared of Dave. And that's a fact. They were absolutely
You think that's the fundamental difference?
Yeah, absolutely. Dave ruled this place with an iron fist, and he was great at his job. I say that as a compliment. Like, for anyone wants to bitch about Dave, you can't bitch about his passion around the sport and his
No.
drive and him doing what he felt was right. And like he had a North Star and he followed it. And
Yeah. Hell
I say
yeah.
all that as a compliment to him. And so I think with him gone, there is a very real, at a minimum, perceived leadership vacuum that allows people to shout into the microphone and say CrossFit screwed up, right? And so I think that's why the drama feels excessive this year. With that said, I think they've got some great leadership over there, and I think they will right size it, and it'll move forward great, But I think that's why it feels weird this year. Again, I could just be talking
Interesting.
out of my ass. We'll see.
I hear ya. I hear ya.
Yeah. So, all right, let's see here. This guy's blaming it on 2020. Excessive for sure. All 2020's fault. I think
I
that's good.
agree. I fully agree. I'm with you.
Hey, can we talk about the Granite Games? I had some
Yeah.
notes
Hell
I
yeah.
wanted to talk about. First of all, can we just say that Mal is legit?
Unreal. She's not
Holy
human.
crap.
Not human. Maybe part cyborg.
Holy crap. Like, I think athletes always go one or two ways. They either show, kind of a minor improvement, they get better year over year, or they tank. Like they have an off season, Man, not only did she not get off, but is she so much better
I know.
than she
It's
was. Like, she
insane.
dominated that thing
It's
from
wild.
end to
It's wild.
end. It was
Yep.
insane.
Very cool to watch too. Like very cool to see how far she's come. And I think she just has like more and more potential in her. I truly do. And I wonder if we're watching like greatness in the making. You know what I
Oh, you
mean?
absolutely are.
Yeah,
Barring injury or anything weird.
sure.
I think there's no chance she's not standing on top of the podium at some point. But
Mhm.
I still believe Tia is going to be standing on top of the podium for as long as she wants to.
Yeah, yeah, I
I really
totally
believe
agree.
that. So it's nothing against her at all. But I just thought Miles Weekend, it was really impressive to me across all fronts. Like in the areas I thought she wouldn't do well, like the heavy sled push was, that long workout. I'm like, all right, well, here's one where you've got a smaller athlete, and I realized it's got burpees and some other, a bike in it. But she's smaller, like she shouldn't be great on the bike. She shouldn't be,
Yeah.
comparatively, and she shouldn't be great on that sled push. Some of the bigger, stronger athletes should have kind of dominated her there. And she blew past them on that bike.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like she was just like they were all standing still. It
I
was
know.
so impressive.
I know. Those Tia's like that too. Like I always look at her and I'm like, this is such a petite woman, strong as hell and like all 100% muscle, but just like in general, a petite lady.
Yep.
And yeah, that doesn't ever seem to matter, does it?
No. I also I love seeing Alec Willis qualify for the first time. That was really cool.
Yeah, she had they said a different name on the broadcast, right? Alex,
Yeah, I don't even remember
oh
what
my
it
God,
was.
I'm the worst reporter in the world because I'm drawing a blank right now. But yeah, it'll be her first trip to the games, which is very cool. Anytime we bring a rookie aboard, I'm like, bring it on. Fresh meat. Let's see how it goes.
I
Unbelievable.
always love seeing people when they're not sure they're gonna qualify and they do,
Mhm.
and they're just like,
Yeah,
I wish more men would cry when they qualify, to be honest.
same.
Like
I
let it
love
go,
that type
boys.
of emotion. Like,
Yeah.
just, yeah, embrace it.
Although I have to
Totally.
be honest, I think Colton Mertens was tearing up when they
He
called
was
his
he
name.
was man, he was nervous and he should have been and he knew. I mean, the poor thing. Can you imagine going through that entire weekend and like, the ups and downs and knowing in your heart of hearts that the last event of the entire weekend was going to make or break you because he
Yeah.
knew going into that wasn't his event. It's a tall man event right there.
I tell you who I was most impressed. I mean, I was super impressed with Mal, and Amanda and Danny kind of did what I thought they would do. I was most
Same.
impressed with Emily Roth. I loved her. She
I
is
had her on
smart.
my podium. I did.
She's a badass.
She
Total
is.
badass.
She is. She's unbelievable, and she's the sneaky, like, long endurance cardio
Yep.
athlete that you wouldn't expect. She won, like, the ruck run at games a couple years ago. That run toasted people, and she was just like, "Doo, doo, doo.
Yeah,
Go
it was
back
just
in."
like it was really fun watching her and Mal go head to head because correct me if I'm wrong, she's like kind of in her 30s, right? Early 30s, maybe. And
I
Mal's
don't
like
know.
12.
Right.
And
7 years
and
old.
watching them go side by side is like it's really fun for me to that's one thing I love about this sport is there's often an age gap like that that's
Yeah,
really interesting to see, I thought.
totally. Yeah.
Um, Men, who'd I have here? I gotta be honest, I know Fikowski, like, shouldn't be sneaking up on me, but, he wasn't in the lead the whole weekend, then all of a sudden he won. I'm like, "How the hell did that happen?" Like,
Consistency.
yeah, I
Really
know,
consistent.
I know, props to that dude. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie and pretend like I've been a fan forever because 'cause I'm not a fangirl when it comes to Fikowski, but gotta give that guy props, man. Not
Yeah.
only is he fit as hell, but to your point, that consistency thing I think always bodes well at the games. And I think that's why he does well at the games most years is that,
Mhm.
he there's nothing that he's bad at. He doesn't dominate, like
Right.
Mal kind of went in and won everything. But he's just always in the hunt. It was cool.
I I don't think we're gonna have a man in the field this year who dominates like that. I think it is going to be like a dogfight, tooth and nail, because
Yeah.
everyone is getting so, so good and everyone is playing this excellent consistency game. Maybe consistent like top 5, but I can think of 5 dudes off the top of my head who I feel like could gun for that. And
Oh yeah.
Justin is one of them. Justin Medeiros is one of
Oh
them.
yeah.
He
Yeah.
has a title to defend, but like I can think of a whole bunch of dudes that I think will give him a run for his money. There
Well, I
was a
think we
really deep
saw,
men's field at
yeah,
Granite this
we saw
year. Yeah.
Severett this weekend. I think that could
Mhm.
absolutely surprise. I thought Phil Toon did great. And in the chat, they kept calling
Yeah.
him Toon Juice, which I loved. I just thought that was great nickname, Toon Juice. Um, I like it. It sounds like something you sell little kids. Hey, who wants some Toon Juice?
Gross.
I know it was kind of gross, but that dude is strong. He's fast. Like
Yep.
he kind of checks all the boxes.
Yep.
He
Yep.
could.
He did really well last year. He's been in the brute strength training camp with all the young guns. He's the
Yeah.
oldest one there. Isn't that insane? training
Yeah.
with like Dallin and James, and like he's like the old guy. That's
Yep.
crazy. We're so old. That's gross.
I tell you who I loved was Travis Mayer, who got third. It became a running joke in the chat that he can't get on screen without somebody mentioning how many kids he has.
Yeah, because
It's like,
he's like full of kids. Yeah,
yeah,
totally.
just like, so I made it a running joke in the chat every time he would, every time he would leave the screen. I'm like, I think Travis just left to go impregnate his wife again,
Mm.
or I think,
You made it wildly inappropriate. Of
yeah,
course you did.
why not? Like, might as well have 6 or 7. I'm super impressed by that. That's such an impressive thing for me,
Insane.
though, to be raising a young family and a lot
It's
of
wild.
kids. And I
Mm-hmm.
got 2
Yeah.
kids that are basically adults now, and I can't get shit done,
4? Is he up to 4? 3
Yeah,
boys and a girl, I think? Yeah.
I thought it was 5. Is it 4 or
5?
5?
4 boys and a girl?
It's a lot.
Ooh, it's a
It's
lot.
it
I'm impressed I can't get my shit done and have 1 kid, so it's truly something else, honestly.
um, Sam Quine got back.
Wait, can I just say hold on, wait.
Yeah.
On Travis real quick, I hope I'm not inserting my own foot in my mouth with this, but Travis is truly Mr. Consistency. If you want to talk about like consistent athletes in the field, it's like Cole Sager, it's like Travis. And I think, based off of what I saw this weekend at Granite, this could be Travis's year to make a run for the podium. Truly.
I like him. I'd love to see him do it. He
Yeah.
actually took his shirt off for a workout, which he never works out with his shirt off, or he doesn't often,
Okay, and I told Matt, I'm like, this dude, like with regular clothes on,
Yeah.
he just looks like a dad. Like he doesn't even
Yeah.
look like a
He wears
CrossFitter.
big baggy shirts,
Yeah,
and
and
he just it looks like he's got a dad bod, and he pulled his shirt off. I'm like, "All right, that fucker's ripped." Like,
right, and
I
then he looks like Travis Barker basically,
yeah.
but like super ripped, and you're like, wait, that guy? That's the same guy. It was always hilarious to me, and I've known him for years, and he is like very like Mr. Rogers kind, like that level of nice. And then you're like, you're the really tatted up fit guy? Like, what? Yeah.
I always feel like there are athletes I look at, I'm like, "I can have a beer with that dude," and he's one of them where I
Oh,
just,
for
like, see him, I'm
sure.
like,
You
"I
love
feel like I
him.
could just
Yes.
hang out and drink a beer and just
Yeah.
BS with that guy,"
He's just normal. Just normal. Very
he looks
cool.
fun.
Sorry,
But
keep
yeah,
going.
Quant got back in.
Very cool. I mean, he's battling back from some, serious illness, which sucks. And I feel like he feels like he has a lot to prove, right? Because he had an amazing season, and then all of a sudden, everyone was like, "What
Mhm.
happened to Sam?" So I'm glad to see him working through his health issues and getting back to where he needs to be.
Yeah, I was glad to see that too. I didn't have him on my radar at all, and I think the first day wasn't a great day for him
Yeah.
necessarily, and then he just started moving up the leaderboard, and he looked great,
Yeah.
props to him, and then Colton Mertens, like, man, that dude's fit. He
That
is
dude's
really
fit.
fit.
That dude's fit.
At some point, the camera panned to him, and I'm like, "I'm pretty sure his calves are bigger than my thighs." Like,
Oh yeah.
just
He's got a lot of
huge.
muscle packed into that little body.
And I kept calling him the muscle hamster,
Did
and
he come up with that? Who came up with that name?
I don't know, but the people
Is
in the
that a
chat,
name that he knows and embraces?
I don't
Because
know. People were like, "Is this an insulting name?" I'm like, "Well, it would be if it were muscle gerbil, but muscle hamster sounds okay." I don't know. I
I
don't know
don't know
what.
either. I've never heard it before. I assume, knowing what I know about Joel, like I assume he would not have just like came up with that. I assume that's something that Colton like uses for himself as a term of endearment.
I think they all mean it that way, and he's one of the shorter athletes. Like, I saw him at the games, and I don't know how tall he is, but he can't be more than 5'5", like, or 5'6",
No, I think
and
he's shorter than that. I don't know.
well, but
Does it say on his little games page?
you know what he's built like? I don't know if you've seen Lord of the Rings, and like he's
Oh,
built like,
5'4".
yeah, he's built like one of those guys that carries a battle axe. Like, dude is all muscle. It's like a fire plug. Like, it's so impressive how much muscle he has and how fit he is.
Totally.
And so I suspect it's a term of endearment. I wasn't taking it as an insult because I'm like, that dude's fit, and there's nothing I can say to insult him because I dream of being as fit as him. Like,
Totally.
so
Totally.
it was just
Oh,
funny to
here.
me that it's just funny they were doing it on the broadcast. I'm like, all right, well, a little
He
weird,
must
but
use it for himself. For them to say it, he must use it for himself. Here, I looked up Emily Rolfe and she's 33. You were right.
oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I feel like I want a nickname like that, like the Flabby Giraffe or something. I don't know. Like, I don't know what would be a good nickname for me. I need a long neck, I guess, for that, but it would be weird.
We'll
But
come up with something.
and then outside of that, like I don't know, it was just fun to watch some people I really um, like and respect. Chandler didn't have his best weekend, but I love
I
watching that
am
guy
so
compete.
disappointed. I
He
know. I'm
he
disappointed
was
for
for
him.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I mean, yeah, he posted something today about how
I
disappointed he was, and
know.
I love that dude so much. Like, you're never gonna
Same.
get me to say a bad thing about Chandler Smith because he's one of the few people besides you and a few of my friends that when things are not going well for me, he'll just send me a random message and go, "Hey, just want to check on you. You doing okay?" You know, he's just a kind dude and a good human. And so I hated that he had a bad weekend, but he will absolutely be back. There's no
Yeah.
doubt in my mind.
Yeah, same. I'm disappointed for him, like not disappointed in him. And that's something like he posted something on his Instagram that said how, upset he was and how sad and disappointed he was because there were people who like believed in him and wanted him to do well this weekend and he felt like he was kind of like letting them down and that's the kind of dude he is, right? Like he's not out there for the glory for himself. And he'll come back stronger. He'll figure it out. Someone posted in our chat that he said something to Sean Woodland about having maybe a medical issue. So maybe there's some stuff going on that we don't know about, but I just feel for him because he's so wonderful. He'll come back. They
Yeah,
always
yeah.
do. Not everyone has a great season every time.
Yeah, he'll be back. Dude is
Yeah.
he's pretty fit too.
Yeah,
I swear
he's
to
all
God,
right.
it, I don't even remember who I said it to, but he came out for workout and had his shirt off. And I'm like, man, if I look like that dude, I would never wear a shirt ever.
Uh-uh.
I'd go to work in a jacket, no shirt. I go to church, no shirt. I go to the mall. Like I would just find places to go with no shirt all the time.
Matt, same thing. Like he walked out and Matt was like staring uncomfortably at the screen as he came out. And I was like, it's because his pecs look like dinner plates, isn't it? And he was just like, yeah.
He
Like
is,
Matt was like,
dude.
he looks like someone wearing a muscle suit. Like that's how perfect his muscles are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something else. One of the funny moments in the last workout, him and Marquand Jones were kind of competing, and I
Hmm.
think it was Joel on the broadcast said Chandler Jones, and the chat went crazy. And then they started calling everyone in the chat started calling everyone Jones. It was Mal Jones and Amanda Jones and Danny Jones, and oh my god, it was so funny.
Oh, bummer.
People were like, they started giving him shit. And I'm like, come on, like that,
It was just he just misspoke. Okay.
you're just
It's
in the
not
heat of the
like a
moment. You got two athletes. It's an easy thing to do,
yeah.
And I love Marquand. He had a good weekend. Like, and,
He
I
did.
think like 14th or 15th, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked that. That was good for him. I know he's been working a lot on training his weaknesses, so that was
He's
cool to watch.
he's a good dude.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Um,
John, there's a couple people in the chat who said that the muscle hamster is an NFL reference.
oh,
That
okay.
something that we don't know about. Maybe I should have Googled
Well,
it one time before we
look,
started
I
recording
live
the
in
podcast.
Cleveland, Ohio, and we don't really have an NFL football team here, so I wouldn't know. We don't have a real NFL team. How about that?
The muscle hamster is Doug Martin, football running back.
Oh, how tall is Doug Martin?
5'9". I guess that's short for an NFL player, right?
Yeah, I would think so. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know at all. I didn't watch any of anything else, but Roman made the games, won the Far East Throwdown,
Yeah,
right? Is
I
that what
didn't
it's
watch
called?
any of that. I read about it in the morning chalk up. That's great. I'm so excited and I really hope that everything works out for him to come to games because he is one of the athletes that I think could have really made it difficult for all of our favorites. All of the people who have been getting on the podium year over year and fighting for those top
Right.
spots. Like even when Matt Fraser was still competing, Roman was like trying to come up and give him a run for his money. And so to finally have him here, I know he came to the States like months and months and months and months ago so that he wouldn't have a problem coming here for games.
Yeah, yeah.
He missed the birth of his son. Like, this is important to him. This is his dude's life. And then I don't know how it happened. I'm like not familiar with how the whole lottery and the whatever semifinals worked out. I actually don't think it was a lottery at all. It was regional. But then like he had to travel
Yeah.
for semis. So I'm just really hoping he like gets back and like everything's good and he's just like
Right.
in Madison chilling way early, waiting for games to start because I want to watch him compete against these other dudes. I want to see it happen.
Here's the only thing that bothers me about this current it's not the only thing, but here's one thing that bothers me about the current format is because all of the semis don't have the same programming, and this year they're only doing 2 workouts that are the same amongst all the semis. We don't have a real sense of how they would all stack up. So, like, it was really evident to me at Granite because, they made the repeat workout was the final workout at Granite, but it was not the final workout at the other semis. And so you don't get a real sense of how the people at Granite really stacked up in that workout because now they're exhausted. They're 6
Right.
workouts in
Yes,
doing
you're
the
right.
same workout that other athletes were doing 2 workouts in or 3 workouts in. And so, everybody's like, "Oh, well, will any of the women beat Christy Aramo's time?" I'm like, "Probably not. They're 6 workouts in." Like,
Yeah, it's
so
different.
we don't really know. And no offense to Christy, who crushed that workout, but it's kind of the same thing here with Roman. It's like if all the workouts were the same, we'd have a much better sense of how he would stack up against Justin and Saxon
Yeah, yeah,
and Fikowski and the whole
yeah,
group. And so we're kind of going in blind a little bit.
yeah, yeah. But we'll see at games. That's what games will be.
Yeah.
It will be, that first time that everyone is kind of like on an even playing field along those lines. Yeah, I go back and forth in my mind a lot. I loved regionals, right? I'm OG. I loved having the same programming week over week. You could really compare. I mean, there's always going to be the argument that like week 3 had more time than week 1 and learned whatever. Like it's never going to be perfect.
Well,
But I also love individualized events and semifinals and giving these events the chance to like make it their own and use their own venue and like figure out how to make it unique. So I'm very back and forth. I like what we've done this year of working like a couple in. I think that's an interesting way at it. There's a lot of variables and I see pros and cons to all the different ways, all the different roads to the games that we've had over the years, if you will.
I think the biggest pro as it stands right now, and again, this could be different a year from now, but I think the biggest pro to having all of the semis do the same programming is that the judging would get better as it goes along.
Hmm.
And there were a lot of complaints around the judging at Granite this weekend. And I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. It's like I'm a firm believer, whatever happens on the field and the judge calls it, that's the way it should have gone. Like you can't, not a lot of second guessing, but you do learn week over week. Hey, maybe some athletes aren't touching their chest to the ground on the burpees, or hey, we need to cut the ropes or whatever, and you learn. So by the time get a couple of semis in, it is getting a little harder. So to your point, yeah, they've had maybe more time to prepare and they've seen others do it. And so they can strategize better, but the judges are getting better too. And so you're not
Mm.
maybe getting away with as much. And I just think it's a better experience. I also think that, probably one of the thoughts around having them all different is you can create your own, event and environment and which will draw people in. But bluntly, these semis look dead, man. People aren't going to live CrossFit right now.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
just
that's a
not. And,
bummer.
and having individualized programming is not drawing people in. So I know that's not why they intended to do it that way, but it isn't helping the cause any. And I think,
Yeah,
they got to address that.
yeah, I'm not sure that's like a one-to-one. Like, I don't know if the attendance has anything to do with the programming. I would
Well,
guess
the
not, but
locations have everything to do with the attendance. I mean, come on, it's,
that might be part of it.
Knoxville and
Yeah.
Minneapolis or Minnesota. Like you're not talking about doing these things in Manhattan, Chicago, and Dallas, where you've got a lot of
Yeah,
people in a geographic area.
that's true. It's probably also way more expensive to host events in those areas.
Well, probably, but yeah,
You
I
think you'll
mean,
offset with
there's
ticket sales maybe?
there's the balance. Like I just think like you look at a city like Atlanta, for instance, that could hold one. It's just such a bigger city. You've got to have more CrossFitters in that area, or the Fort Worth, Dallas area, or Chicago, or
My vote is Boston, please. Yes,
or
please.
Boston. Or Boston. I mean, there are a lot of cities that are bigger where people could get there and do it. And I get it. Like there's a lot that goes into these things financially. None of this is a complaint. It's just like I was watching that event on TV going, man, I want to see a full stadium.
I know. I know. It
Yeah.
was cool though that they had that little section of like grass where people could just like
Mhm.
camp out. I thought that was really neat.
That was cool. It was the same way last year. I don't know. Maybe they'll continue to grow. Maybe I'm old, so maybe my memory's bad. It just felt like regionals were busier. I could be wrong.
Yeah, regionals were packed. Maybe not Friday morning, right? That was always tough,
Here's,
but
here's a good point. Torium Pro was packed, yes, but that's Australia. You got to give them a one-off. Australians are crazy
yeah.
as it is. And
They're
I took
well,
it
and they only
along.
have the one event. They only have the one. Like, I think sometimes when we have several around the US, people are like, "Oh, maybe
They're
that one, maybe that
fanatical.
one." They
They are
are.
fanatical
They're
about
awesome.
CrossFit down there. They're
They're
great,
awesome.
and
Yeah.
that's the kick ass of like the photos from that event were kick ass, like flamethrowers, and it was crazy, man.
Wild. I wanna go. I wanna go to
I,
that one.
I'd love to go to that one. I'm just not down for an 18-hour flight.
Yeah, not quite ready for that yet.
Hey, you want to see what I got today?
Yeah, let me see.
Hold on. Things just show up on my porch. This is not sponsored, by the way. Gaines box. You want to see what's
Oh,
in it?
fun! Yeah, what's in it? Have you
I have
opened it
no
yet?
idea. I have no
Oh,
idea.
yeah,
I'm
hell
gonna
yeah.
open
Live
it.
unboxing. Let's do it.
This is not sponsored, by the way. I just literally like. Here's if there are any perks to being a meme lord. This is one of them. Shit just shows up.
Amazing.
Swear to
What is
God,
that like?
it's weird. It's weird. Yeah, and they said hey, they gave me a code. I'm not giving it to you guys because they didn't pay me for this.
Oh.
All right. Should I give the code?
You probably should. That was nice
Okay.
of them to send you the box.
I can put all right. It's 20. You can get 20% off. This is not sponsored. I feel like I'm just giving shit away here. 20% off with the code 20GNZ. I'm not putting it on
Okay.
the screen. They're on their own for that. All right. What do we have here? I have a pair of shorts.
Cute. From who?
Feed me, fight me.
Oh, they're great.
Are
They're
they?
awesome. Yes, yes. I have a couple pairs, and they sent Matt a pair a little while ago, and they're awesome. Love.
Are they gonna make my butt look good?
Hell yeah.
Sweet. All right. Let's see. I've got ooh. It's a
Ooh.
spore.
Spore.
It sounds gross. What is it?
What is it? Is it mushrooms?
All day endurance. The line starts out front, ladies. I have no idea.
Oh.
I have no idea. It just says spore and all day endurance. So of course I'm taking that.
I'm sure there's a
Functional mushroom formulations.
who called it?
Shrooms.
Shrooms. You
I
got
hope it makes
shrooms.
me high.
Gaines
We
box gives you shrooms. You heard it here
we
first.
we did an episode once. Who was it that got on the acid trip? Who was that? That was
Who got on an acid
remember
trip?
him and it's got the daughter Star. Come on, what's his name? I love the
Oh,
dude.
oh, oh. The dancers. They
Yes, we
did
had
not get on an
Sam
acid
Dancer
trip.
on.
No, they like went to like a retreat where they did like spiritual drugs and
I
they
hope
like
this
met
works that way.
their daughter. Yeah, that was a go back and listen to that episode. I'm
Okay.
definitely terribly paraphrasing
I
right
have
now,
like
but
3 bottles of what I think are like 5-hour energy things. It says Vitamin Energy Focus Plus, and they're like in
oh
these little.
dang.
I don't know when CrossFit became about, hey, dope yourself up before you go work out. One's immunity
Oh,
and one's energy. I shouldn't be
okay.
judging these things without knowing what they actually are. And one is mood. I could totally use that because I'm a crabby
Ooh.
bitch. All
Yeah.
right.
What else is in there?
Vital Performance pre-workout.
Cool. Is that Vital Proteins?
It just says Vital Performance pre
Yeah,
lemon
yeah.
grape.
Vital they're an awesome brand. We
Are
really,
they?
really like their stuff. Yeah, especially their like collagen and stuff. Love.
Should be writing this down. We're just giving them free
I
advertising here.
know.
They need
We
to
should call these
sponsor
people
us.
and be like, "Hey, we like you. Give us money."
This looks like Bang. Hold on.
No.
Yes, Blue Raspberry Bang. Oh, worst name ever. Vooz. Worst name ever.
Vooz?
Vooz. VOOZ. Worst name ever.
What does it mean?
I don't know, but it sounds gross.
Bang Vooz.
Vooz.
This is hilarious. I think we should do live unboxings constantly because I am very into what's going on right
I
now.
have no idea what that is.
What else is there?
All right. Is it a Rubik's Cube? A travel mug. I am down
Oh,
for travel mugs. Hold on. Let's see what it
that's
looks like.
nice.
Well, you say it's nice until I open the box. You don't know
Uh-oh.
what's in it. You don't know, Nikki. You never
I don't
know.
know. I don't know. I don't have a Gaines box here.
I think it looks like a standard travel mug though, and I'm pretty happy with this.
Okay.
Look at this thing. This is nice.
Oh, that is nice.
It's like a Yeti. They're
What
probably
is it?
going to be
What
mad now. I just called their product a Yeti.
I
But
know. What is it? Who's it from?
it's Malil, Millell. I don't know. It's very
Millel.
nice. I like it.
Wow. Thank you, Millel.
I drink a lot of coffee, So that
Same.
works
We're
out
a
for me.
Yeti family.
All
Just
right.
throwing that out there.
Gainsbox does not know me at all because there's a foam
Oh,
roller.
did you see the comment that came into the chat when you were talking about
Yeah.
like going to the affiliate so that you could have like a more flexible schedule? And someone wrote, wait, where is it?
Yeah, you should
If
do
you want
mobility.
flexibility in your life, maybe you should do some mobility.
All right. I need to go work on the marketing team for Bang because now there's also the Bang Bar, which sounds just as
No.
bad. Yes, Bang
No.
Bar, pristine protein. However, it's in key lime pie, which is one of my favorite flavors. So I'm anxious to try that.
Wait, can I make a key lime pie recommendation real quick? Also
Yeah,
not sponsored. We should definitely just get sponsored by these people before we talk about them. But I just bought a sampler pack of this thing called Oats Overnight. Have you ever had them?
I've heard of them.
They're
Yes.
wicked good. I was
Yeah.
skeptical, but they're really good. Yeah, and I
Mm,
actually haven't because I don't prepare or think ahead ever. I actually haven't ever made them overnight, so I just make them like regular oats. But I
right.
had key lime pie this morning and it was really freaking good.
And then there's a box of Focus 8 Go, which I have so much of this already.
Nice. That's
So
awesome.
that's the one thing I already had. So that's the whole thing. That's the whole box.
Wow, look at that. That was fun.
Vooz. Can we talk
Vooz.
about
What does that
Vooz?
even mean?
I have no idea what that means. Vooz. Hydration sensation. Every time the more I read it, the worse I feel about this. It says what osmolality optimized. I don't even know what that means.
That's not words. Those words aren't
These are
real.
not words. Vooz. Bang vooz.
Have you ever seen that video of like he's like the skinny blonde kid and he's like making fun of people who drink Bang? It's really funny. I'll have to send it to you.
I should
It's
make
kind
fun
of
of
old
people.
now, but it's like spot friggin' on.
Do I need to take the spore before bedtime? That's the
Well,
question.
I
It's
wouldn't
all
if
day
it's all day
endurance.
endurance. I would
Yeah.
take it only as necessary.
Yeah, well, maybe I could use all day endurance though. I'm old.
What's their tagline?
That was it. All day
Oh,
endurance.
I was hoping it was like stay hard or something.
Wow, you took
Rock
that to a
hard.
weird place, Nikki.
Oh,
Thanks for making me feel.
yeah, me.
Yeah, it was all
Mhm.
you. It was
No
all
one was
you.
thinking it. I'm sorry. I always bring it there. Sorry. The
I'm
only
happy
one.
with the travel mug though. So
That's
big,
cute.
big thank you to Gainsbox for an unsponsored unboxing. So that was fun.
Cool.
I do get stuff like that in the mail pretty often, and it's always interesting to me. Like, I'm first of all, so I'm always like, "How'd you get my address?" and then, and then it's just always interesting because they don't even tell me it's coming; it just shows up. So I always wonder, like, how much stuff shows up on my neighbor's porch that I never actually get. You know?
Truly. That only happens to me when like a couple times when you've been like, "Oh, hey, sorry, I gave someone your address, so something's coming to
Right?
your house." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Cool. Thanks."
It is a weird thing.
Yeah.
It's a very weird thing. Matter of fact, when I was at the gym this week, a couple days ago, I was talking to some girl there about shoes. She had on these bright orange shoes. And I'm like, "Oh, I really like your shoes. What are these?" And they were like barefoot shoes. And she goes, "Oh, do you have a lot of CrossFit shoes?" I'm like, "You don't know me. Thank you. Let's talk about this.
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
go." I'm like,
Oh, do I
"Finally,
have a
someone
lot
who
of
doesn't know
shoes?
who I am. Let's talk about shoes." I'm like, "Yes, I have shoes. This is great."
Yep. Yep. The shoe collection is getting out of hand at our house. It's real bad.
It's the best. This has been fun, Nikki.
Yeah, this is nice. We haven't had a chance just to like catch up in a minute, so
Hey,
good stuff.
how's the baby? We didn't even talk about the baby. Is he good?
He's doing so good. He's 10 months yesterday, and I truly don't understand. Like every month that goes by, I'm like, this is the most fun. No, this is the
Mm,
most fun. This is truly like I wish I could freeze time because this is so much fun.
mm. You don't
Yeah.
want to freeze time. It's all fun. I'm still having fun. The girls are continuing to go do
I
things.
know, but I just am like, I just want him to like snuggle forever. And when I look at his face, I'm like, I really don't want him to have teeth because I love his little like toothless grin. Ah.
Well, you can move to the south and he could keep a toothless grin. It could be good.
Ah, perfect. That's what we'll do.
Mhm.
Amazing.
I just feel like I'm insulting people all over the country now.
I know you're gonna get the hate mail rolling in. Get ready
You could get a cat. Bean's great. He's right here with me. He's trying to get into the gains box. He wants to sit in the box.
because he fits.
I know. I
So
took a photo of he was sitting next to me today. I don't know if you saw it in my story, but he was like staring at the wall, like
oh,
cats will do. And so I made the caption, even though Bean's blind, he still likes to look outside. And somebody messaged me and they go, I didn't even know Bean was blind. I'm
Oh,
like, oh, bless your heart. I'm like,
no,
no, he's not blind. Just
no.
making a joke. He's a good boy though.
Oh,
That's what you do when your kids grow up. You go get another baby. Unfortunately, it's a fur baby who's kind of a
I
dick.
know. I'm gonna need like 100 more dogs.
Oh, that's right. You have fur babies. You're good.
Oh yeah, we have giants, fur giants.
Do you look at them different now that you have a baby?
Do you know what's funny? Like, because I am and was and is whatever so obsessed with my dogs. Like I was like crazy dog lady. And everyone was like, "You get ready. Like when you have a baby, you're not even going to give a shit about your dogs anymore." And that is so not true. That is so not what happened to us. But I will say that my perspective has changed because I don't have enough room in my head to like have insane high levels of anxiety about multiple things.
Right.
So like I just changed in that like I used to be so crazy anxious all the time about like, "Oh my god, is the ground like too hot for their paws?" Like, no, they're dogs. They're fucking dogs. That's
Right.
what they do. So like now I only have that crazy level of anxiety about the baby where I'm like, "Oh my god, is it too loud in here for him? Oh my god." And I'm like, "Oh, the dogs are fine because they're dogs." So
Mm.
nothing has changed in that respect, but definitely some perspective and maybe like just some compartmentalizing in my own brain.
You know, if Bean knew how many photos I had on my phone of him sleeping, he'd really think I was a creeper. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about it.
Yeah, the dogs could say that about me, and the baby could say that about me.
Mm.
I took the world's most adorable photo. Matt had the baby in the backyard, just like buck ass naked, just like being an outdoor baby. And I took the most adorable picture of his cute little baby body with his little
Aw.
wiener. And I was like, so inappropriate, but I like, look at how cute and little everything is.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, Matt was like, "Don't if you post that, you have to put, like, a star over his ween." I'm like, "I'm not posting a naked photo of my baby, don't worry
Yeah,
about it."
no, you save that for when they're adults and you embarrass them at their wedding with it.
Exactly,
That's
that's
what
the
that's for.
point. Also, we took a little picture of his buns and, like, I don't know, the baby's always in a diaper, so we never, like, look at his butt, but
Right.
it is like, baby butts are, like, 60-year-old saggy lady butts. They just, like, chunky and have cellulite and, like, rolls, and it's adorable.
They are adorable. Babies
Mhm.
are always adorable. It's
I know,
crazy.
I'm gonna text you these wildly inappropriate photos because you can see them.
Wow. I'm sure they're the cutest.
They are. I'm gonna send them to you.
It's always good to have those photos. We were just talking about those with, Meg graduated last weekend and we were talking about baby pictures and when they graduate high school, they want a baby picture and then their current photo and they put it on the screen, and you can't put the one with your kid's wing hanging out, by the way, but you can still do the
Bummer.
baby picture. And so it's hard to like, I go back and look to those photos now and, at this point, 18 years later, it's really, I don't know, like the range of emotions is just
Yeah,
ridiculous
that's a
that you go
lot.
through.
I don't
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna have a hard time with that.
Hold on. I gotta look at these photos now. Oh, Jesus. Look at that little booty.
Isn't he so cute? I know, I'm dead. I'm dead.
Uh, oh, he's such a cutie.
Yeah.
What a cutie. It's nice to see you got Matt's skin tone. That's good.
They're matchy, matchy,
Mm.
matchy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they sunblock 10,000 for both of them. That's nice.
Yeah,
I
I
like that.
pack it everywhere now. It lives everywhere. It's in the diaper bag, it's in my purse, it's in the car. It's like neither one of them can go outside for 2 minutes without sunscreen.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. They're
Yeah.
cuties.
Yeah.
There you go. You're very lucky.
Thank
Count your
you.
blessings.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, thanks for jumping on. And for everyone that joined us, we got Beach House CrossFit saying like and subscribe. They're super fans. I love these guys. They're always messaging me. And
Do it.
I'm big fans of them too. And anyway, we appreciate you guys being with us. And we'll be back later in the week. We got a couple other things going on this week. We're going to have Chase Ingram with us probably on Friday-ish. And I'm sure we'll squeak something else in. And you have more focus on the female episodes coming.
Yes, I have a
Very
couple. So
cool.
we're going to be chatting with Tanya Wagner about all things competition and as you get older. And she's one of our broadcast members, and she just like can speak to so many things. Stacey Tovar is going to come on. Marco Alvarez is going to come on. Just like a bunch of really, strong, wonderful women. And thank you to everyone who's slid into the DMs with recommendations or just to say that you've been listening or, and lots of dudes. Like, thank you. Thank you, dudes, for tuning in to Focus on Female episodes because a lot of guys have been like, I have pregnant athletes that I coach in my gym. And so I listened to your, Alexis Morgan episode or your Kat Suchet episode. And it was really cool to hear that. So thank you guys for everything and continue sending recommendations my way, please, because I'm looking for more people to fill the topics that you guys are sending to me. So keep it up.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining, guys. We will let you guys get back to your night and we will chat.